Welcome to another edition of the It's Cavalier podcast. It's your boy Mack, and joining me tonight is a good guest, a good get for your boy here, and that is Felder. You all who may remember him as a former Cavaliers pick back during the 2016-17 draft. How you doing, K?
I'm doing all right, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I am waiting out NBA Summer League. It's honestly, I am so hyped, so ready to see some of this young talent. And speaking of that, man, just going to jump right into it here and just get right to it. You appeared in 7 Summer League games during your rookie season. You may or may not remember this. It feels like forever ago, but it was
It will feel
uh,
like it.
yes, yeah. For as a fan, it feels like forever ago. I'm sure for you, it probably feels the same. You actually put up 15.3 points, 3.4 rebounds, and 3.9 assists. Do you remember the environment, and were you nervous at all to play in your first summer league?
No, I feel like I was prepared and ready. Like, I had been hooping all summer, so I was in good rhythm. Plus, I was just ready to showcase my talent for real and show the world who I am.
I mean, the talent was obviously booming. It was brimming. You coming out of Oakland, you averaged 24.4 points, 9.3 assists in your final season there. So I felt like there was a number of eyes on you. And I know there was a little bit of talk of whether or not you'd go undrafted or be a late second round pick. And apparently Cleveland liked you enough to trade with Atlanta to acquire your talent. So that was pretty dope, man.
No, for sure it was, man. To go through that whole experience, lifetime achievement.
Awesome. Yeah. What was it like to hear you were drafted in the first place? And how are you feeling about getting the opportunity to play for the Cavaliers, a team that just so happened to feature some of the best players in the world at the time, LeBron, Kyrie, Kevin Love, and more?
More so, I was more so just excited to see what being a pro was, on and off the court, just to see what goes into like the everyday life. And I was amazed, how much free time you have. So that was one of the things I caught on to quick. But just the team, future Hall of Famers, Kevin Love, Richard Jefferson. I mean, the list goes on with that team, J.R. Smith. So just stepping into that, being a young guy, I just kind of like soaked it all in. I kind of figured I wasn't gonna play a lot, so so whatever I could do to just soak up a lot of game and knowledge, that's what I did, man.
What was the biggest adjustment for you heading into that rookie season, making the jump from college to the pros?
All the talking, the physicality, like playing with real grown men, that just smarter than you. But some may not even be better than you, but some just smarter than you could, figure out ways to do things on the court that you're not prepared for yet or you haven't experienced yet. So that was that.
Do you have to put yourself into heading into a situation like that where like this team, they're stacked, they're probably going to be contenders? Is there like an adjustment you have to make being from like the lead or the alpha at Oakland to kind of riding the pine for a little bit and waiting for your chance?
It humbles you. It humbles you for sure because, like you said, just being a man, I got the ball in my hands. I'm playing the whole game. This, that, and the third. I'm at the helm, but now I'm at the back of the ship, just trying to figure out where I could fit in at, and that was the biggest adjustment, trying to figure out where I could fit in at how whatever my role was, whether it was getting guys water, clapping hands, dancing, whatever, it was to, help guys get in their mode. That was the biggest adjustment. Becoming that cheerleader that my high school coach always talked about.
Did you carry anything over to your career now from some of the lessons that you learned during your rookie campaign playing with some of those guys?
For sure. A lot of things, like I would say, like my lifestyle as far as like how I eat, how I work out, especially like learning from Phil Handy. That was my
Hmm.
guy. That was the trainer that I worked with, like him and Mike Garrity. Like those things. I still apply those things today. Like also the Versa Climber was. So when I first got to Cleveland, the Versa Climber was the first thing that like just surprised me. That was different. I never had done that before, but that is like in my regimen every summer. Well,
Oh man, that's awesome to hear.
for sure.
Yeah, you got to some of these things. I'm sure. I mean, even in my day to day life, just taking lessons from people who are better than me at something, or who have been doing something longer than I have.
For sure.
Um, Kind of want to switch it over here a little bit because you've been playing some overseas ball, and I just want to get your honest opinion on this.
Hmm.
Is there a misconception about playing overseas from the average fan? Like it seems like every time I see a player who was once highly regarded in the NBA at some point
Yeah.
sign with the team overseas, like a Kimball Walker who recently retired, or a Dwight Howard, the casual fan seems to think that they are washed or can't cut it in the league. And when in reality, we've seen some really good players suit up overseas and make some damn good money while doing so. At first, do you think there's a misconception? And if there is, why do you think that might exist?
I'm gonna say the knowledge of it. They don't really know what's going on. They haven't done the research. Or some people know is the NBA and what is overseas or how you planning. Europe or so. I would think it's just a knowledge thing. They just need to educate themselves on it because I mean, like I tell young guys, the NBA ain't the only places that's paying. So, um, but yeah, definitely the knowledge. That's the biggest thing.
Got you. What are some of the hardships of playing in a foreign environment? Is there a language barrier? Because that's honestly one of the things that I have always wondered. Like,
Sure.
what are some of the barriers?
The language barrier for sure. Because we have a translator, but when you out there in that court, it's kind of. But also, if you have some good enough teammates, basketball is universal, man,
Hmm.
and you can figure it out that way. As far as another hardship, I mean, besides my family being able to watch me play, that's like the biggest thing. I don't think my family has seen me playing, yeah, no. Like in person, in person, like so. I mean, that's the biggest thing. It really just those two, the language and from my experience, because the fans everywhere. I know in Europe it's a little different. I never played over there, so I can't speak on that. But
Hmm.
in China where I played, fans pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome, man. Yeah, basketball is it's a universal language. If you played enough ball, I'm sure that everybody can kind of pick up certain plays and
Right.
the way that the ball is moving and whatnot. And now that you bring up China, man, you've been playing for the Beijing Royal Fighters, if I'm not mistaken, where you're leading the team at points right
Yeah,
now.
that was I signed with them this year. That was my first year with them.
Is the experience playing in different international markets, or is the basketball different? Because you always hear like a lot more finesse type opinions with like Euroball and things like that. Is the environment different at all?
Yes, I would give China. I would say it's like a physical environment. Like they allow us to hand check, allow us to get away with some things. So they definitely let the bigs play down low, from what I've been seeing over the years. So I would say those things. They just try to make it a physical league.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not too familiar with the Beijing Royal Fighters, but I did
Yeah,
notice upon doing some research on it that Stephon Marbury is the head coach, or at least has been listed as the head coach.
yeah. He was like the last 3-4 years, I believe, but he wasn't this year. But I think he's still living in China. I'm not sure, but yeah, he was the head coach.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you what was life like playing under him, and if you gleaned
Oh
anything from
no.
him.
Oh no, no, no. I mean, maybe he'll still be coaching next year or something. I don't know. So he'll still.
Awesome. Moving away from that, dude, you're listed at 5'9" in many places, but could probably dunk over my ass right now, or a number of other people. Do you think that there's an inherent discrimination that comes along with entering the league as a shorter player? Like, do you think it lessens your opportunities based upon
No,
other people's biases?
no, that's crazy. I was just having this conversation with someone the other day. I'm gonna say yes. Just from seeing just so many small guys try to make the league, get into the league. It's definitely something a knack against us. What is it? I don't know. Maybe because I don't know, but you got some special guys that's small. That can't be checked, and it's not like defense is heavily like From what I see, it's not heavily so going on, but yeah, I don't know, but these because I get in a different mode about this conversation because I'm small and I've been through it. It's like okay,
uh,
and I seen it.
but do you think there is a like a do you think people head coaches, scouts, draft people, do you think there is a bias against players say 5'10" or shorter?
Right, it's something. I wouldn't say it's a some bias against. I don't know, but it's definitely something, and they need to come out and say it. I feel like because I feel like it should have been way smaller guards in the league than it is now. If you go down the list and you start at Calvin Murphy, start from him. He was a lefty. Start from him. How many small guards was in the league? Like, so
Right.
it's just you noticed that.
Yeah, you've seen guys carve out like decent NBA length careers, guys like Nate Robinson or
Yeah.
Earl Boykin or Muggsy Bogue. There are a number of players that are sub 6 foot who have carved out longer NBA careers, but it just kind of seems like they had to work that much harder to disprove people's opinions about whether or not they can actually work due to some size disadvantages.
And that's why I feel like why it hasn't been more because there's been some guys that I feel like can do some things that like in each era of basketball how it has changed that could have added to the game. I feel like
I think that last part is important. The eras. This is the era where we love stretch bigs and the
yeah,
wings out there rule
high
the
power.
landscape. Yep. And you do have point guards that are still making a huge impact, but they're taller guys out there that are usually getting those chances and opportunities first.
Yeah.
But I've always wondered that. Thank you for clarifying that for me. Next, what advice would you give to a young NBA player like an Emoni Bates, if you're familiar with him, and a second round pick himself who is trying to crack this very, very loaded Cavs rotation?
Keep your head down, and it keep your head down. It just this really sound like cliches, but it's really like the best thing to do. You really just keep your head down and just keep working, man. And when your opportunity calls, you be ready. That's really like the key. Of course, do everything you can, in practice and wherever else, but make sure you still getting better. But definitely keep your head down. You can't get discouraged. You can't let it get to you because once you let it get to you, now it's in your head and you thinking about it and you like, oh, well, they ain't doing this and they ain't doing that. Well, it's somebody ahead of you that they looking at. You got to figure out what's your niche? What they not doing that you need to do to figure out, all right, well, he doing that, well, I'm gonna do this. Maybe that can help. So
I think that's great advice, especially for Emoni, because I'm not sure how familiar you are with him or his game or his history and whatnot, but the dude was like being touted as the next Kevin Durant coming out of high school, and for what life just happened. Things shit happens, life happens, and
life happens for real. But that's why I say you gotta keep your head down. All right, that's what happened. That's in the past. Now I done learned from it. That's behind it.
yep, that's that part right there. Because for him, a lot of the off the court stuff was what prevented him from being a higher draft pick. Like the dude was thought of as a first round, a top 10 pick at certain points, but he fell all the way to 47, I believe, to Cleveland last year. And during this past rookie season, he played very, very sparingly, but he lit it up to a degree in the G League with our G League affiliate, the Cleveland Charge, and since then, dude's put on a lot of weight. He's always had the skill set as a spot up shooter, kind of a guy who can really. I think that is where, when you're talking about niche, I think that is where he will eventually find minutes at in the NBA court. But from a mentality standpoint, I just think that's where people they have those question marks with him. So I'm very, very excited to see what he looks like heading into year two, and especially with summer league being 2 days as of recording this. I just can't wait, man.
No, for sure, man. I hope he been thinking about what he need to do to get on the court to crack that rotation. And when he go into the summer league, put it into play. Put it. Okay, I've been working on it. Let's see if it works.
I seriously hope so. I seriously hope so. Pivoting away from that before I let you go, man. I don't know how much attention you've been paying to the Olympic, the Olympic landscape right now with Team USA putting together like another dream teamish squad, you know, with LeBron and Steph and everybody at the helm. But do you think that this team is poised to really bring some respect back to USA basketball? Because I feel like we've kind of lagged behind, kind of sending our B teams there at certain points.
Yeah, we need to get that respect back for sure. This should be the team to do it, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I'm excited to watch. You know, they got a game tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna watch tonight to see, but we're gonna see. Cause like you said, we behind. It's like, you know, the other countries are starting to creep up, so we're gonna see.
Yeah, I saw something the other day that really struck me, and it really hit me hard because when you just really don't think about this type of thing. But James Harden was actually the last American-born MVP. It's been international guys from Europe, and you know, you got Giannis, you know, just different countries, non-USA countries, and this truly proves that basketball, it is a global thing, and that the rest of the world is catching up.
It's universal, I swear. It's everywhere, man. Oh, you can find it. It's different, man, for sure. Just being all over the world, seeing different basketball, different places. Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate you for taking the time and stopping by. I know we've been trying to make this happen for a while, but I truly do appreciate it. Like I always tell you guys, if you'd like to reach out, you know how you can. It's Cavalier_pod on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and more. If you'd like to be added to the It's Cavalier Discord chat, you know what to do. Leave a rating, leave a review, send a screenshot of said review to itscavalier53@gmail.com, and I will send you an invite. Go Cavs.